What's up, guys? Out of Spec Reviews, back with another mileage MPG test, and today, as you can see, I am doing the RAM TRX. Now, it is a thirsty girl for sure. We're gonna see how much fuel it takes, get some starting numbers for our test, but as you know, it is a 6.2 liter supercharged 702 horsepower V8. I don't expect it to get Grace gas mileage, especially with how I've driven it up to this point. In the last 282 miles, I have gotten a whopping 6.1 miles to the gallon. So we're gonna fill this up, let it top off, let it sit for 30 seconds, click it again, and then we will run our little 60-mile loop and be on our way. All right, it just clicked right there. Sorry about the noise. We've got a diesel truck idling over here, so we'll let that wait for 30 seconds. I'll show you a couple more things on the car. I don't think it's going to get particularly great mileage due to the large all-terrain mud terrain. Looks like they are just all-terrain tires, but still they're very knobby, and even when set at the factory setting, which we have them at now for the manufacturer's recommendation, they are a little bit soft, so I don't expect that to help us out in the slightest. Fortunately, we do not have a lot of wind today, so that will help keep things fair. All right, that's been about 30 seconds. Do one more click. Click number 2. All right, put that back, and obviously, since it is the supercharged 6.2 liter V8, we are using 91 octane premium fuel. So we have put $60 in, 18.887 gallons, and then we will bring it back, do the math, and see how we did. All right, let's jump in here. Fire this monster up real quick, and all right, we have, the vehicle's already warm. Obviously, we like to let them warm up to operating temperature before we do the mileage test. That's really important, as sometimes the vehicle parameters will change if they're not up to temp all the way. They'll run a little bit more rich as to heat things up quicker, things of that nature, but we are already up to temp. So let's put this thing in drive. So despite being a big 707 horsepower, 702, my apologies, horsepower truck, it's actually not too bad to drive around town if you have some experience driving a truck. Other than the tires and soft ride, it's really not too intimidating, but that supercharger whine at part throttle is absolutely intoxicating. Now, for this test, there will hopefully not be very much of that, as it chews through gas when you are on the throttle. You're merging onto the highway right here, Interstate 25 northbound. Get up to speed. Part throttle action, nothing too crazy. Gotta tell you, it feels awful weird not giving it the beans getting on the highway in this thing. We're gonna get up to 70 miles an hour, set cruise, and go from there. Active cruise control set. While it is mostly a big point and shoot toy, it does have some active safety things, which are very nice. While it doesn't have lane keeping, it does have lane departure warning, which is kind of nice. If you drift off, it will center you back into the road and give you a nice little alert. The heads-up display, as you can see here, drift over a little bit, it's already given me a warning that I'm going out of the lane, but it's just such a big truck that, see if we scoot back over this way a little bit, there you go. All of a sudden it's normal. You slide over just a little bit this way, and it illuminates for you, and it'll bring you back if you stay in it too long. We have another video that highlights all of that stuff. I highly recommend you check it out if that's something that you're interested in. Now, for a truck that makes 702 horsepower and is designed to do Baja crazy off-road stuff, it does ride remarkably well on the highway. A lot of trucks ride like a truck, oftentimes due to the live rear axle and suspension geometry that is just a fundamental attribute of a a truck. However, this thing is a bit more akin to riding on a cloud. It's great. Part of that is just due to the really, really large tires and relatively small wheel size in comparison to that. However, it's super, super easy to just go down the highway. It's not intimidating at all. If you didn't know, you would never guess right now that this thing has 702 horsepower on tap, ready to go. It's great. Absolutely love it. Another thing that I have found to be, go around this guy real quick, guy or girl, we're not sure, is the 8-speed automatic. I am personally not a huge fan of torque converted automatics. I know the one on the F-150 hybrid that we tested not too long ago was a little bit on-off, especially with the throttle response. Now, this unit from Dodge is fantastic. The shifts are remarkably quick. It's extremely smooth. It'll take it all the way to red line, and even if you want to use the paddle shifters to gear down, it will let you gear down as long as it's not going to put you right at the red line. It's great. One of my favorite parts about this drive, I don't go up to Cheyenne very often, but when the sun is coming down, it is an absolutely beautiful view of the Front Range. I mean, look at that sunset. Absolutely spectacular. And I will say this, the longer I live in Colorado, the more I actually appreciate that view. It never, ever gets old. We are getting off the highway now. Right here, exit 7, slowing down. Obviously no hybrid for regenerative braking here. So we'll coast up to this light right here. Hang a lefty loosey, just like that. This is such a weird spot as it's a one-way. You don't actually need to stop. Creep across the bridge real quick. And this semi is going to be a little bit difficult to get up to speed behind. However, that is a-okay as we're doing a miles per gallon test. So, getting back on the highway here. So we're just going to sneak out like this and get up to the 70-mile-an-hour limit, and we will work our way back south to Fort Collins. Update in a few. Smooth sailing, no issues at all. Little drama, hardly any wind, anything like that. A relatively boring drive in the TRX, all considered. However, I am very curious to see how this does. My average miles in the last 384 miles has gone from 6.1 on the beginning of this endeavor up to 8.1 according to the dash. Now, we don't always trust the instrumentation and measurements and things of that nature, so I'll throw it back up when we get to the gas station, and then we can calculate the actual mileage. Plenty of pedal travel and room for modulation. I quite like it. All right, we're pulling back into the gas station. Right on. Oh, look at that. We can even go to the same pump we were at earlier today. I wonder if anybody's used it since then. That truck hasn't moved at all either. Interesting stuff, to say the least. Let's see what we got here. Pull it up. Yeah, no one's used it since we were here last. Phenomenal. All right, let's get out. I will fill it up and we can crunch some numbers and see how it did. All right, it has been 30 seconds. I apologize for the noise. That truck is still there almost an hour later. All right, we're gonna do one more click. There we go. Final numbers are on the 58.2, almost 60-mile loop. We went through just over 4 gallons of gas, 4.060 gallons to be exact, which I have done the math right here on my trusty smartphone. Works out to 14.3 and some change miles to the gallon. So there you have it, folks. The Dodge Ram TRX MPG test, 14.3 miles to the gallon out of Spec Reviews score.